Hello everyone. Today we're looking at a great big white box with some red writing on it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know why I don't have the original box to this anymore. I did have, because I remember it vividly. It was a lot bigger. But anyway, today we are looking at a Motorola Microtac 2. Now, there is different versions of this phone. The Microtac 2 was available both with an LCD display as well as an LED dot matrix display. This is the LCD display version. This one is for amps. In fact, the original box was pretty much all red like this with this sort of funny design all over. Pretty much, yeah. So I don't know what happened to it. For some reason, it got packed in this box, and obviously I wrote Motorola mobile phone on here. Not too sure why, but anyway, so you got the manual, you got a nice little booklet to go with it. I'm not even sure what this is. I guess 6800X car friend Fieldman. This is not to go with this phone, surely not. This has got a whole bunch of old phones in it. This has got the Microtac. Oh, this is basically their entire product range at the time. Oh, that's interesting. Let's quickly look at that. So you got the Microtac 2, the Microtac, the Personal, the 8800X, which I have... Actually, no, I don't have on display in the background. I do have a couple of them, but I don't actually have one on display. So... what else we got? 6800X car phone, which is a great big old thing. I do have one somewhere. In fact, I should really dig that out because that is quite an interesting phone. 4800X, I've got probably about 4 or 5 of them. 4500Xs as well. Motorola accessories. It goes into detail of what you can buy: desktop travel, chargers, and all sorts of other stuff. Car phone to transportable conversion kits. All sorts of information from back in the day. Highly out of date. In fact, when was this printed? Has it got a date on it on the back? No date. Has it got a date? No date. But I can tell you that Basingstoke in the UK is now 01256, and that number, that dialing code or prefix change, that happened, I think it was like 91, 92, I think it was. At the very latest, 93. I remember it vividly, because I started, I had to change all my phone numbers and all in my cell phone to put the 01 instead of 02. Real annoying, that, especially with the old phones where programming numbers was such a pain in the ass. But anyway, so you got a nice little communication services booklet. You got obviously the manual, and you got a whole bunch of other stuff minus the packaging. So what we got? We got the phone, obviously, in a leather case. This wasn't my very one. I bought this. I got a couple of these. And incidentally, before I forget, I will show you this phone, but I will also show you, if I can get the sucker out. Neat little leather case. Real tough, that. I guess they don't make leather cases as tough as these nowadays. What else you got? You got obviously the battery. You got the wall socket, and this is heavy. This got a lot of metal in it. This is an old school transformer. None of that switch mode power supply stuff you get nowadays. And very interesting, you got one of these. Now this is really useful, because if your battery ran out and you were in the car, you could still power up your phone. And these are like gold dust for Microtacs. They really are. If you got one of these, hang on to it, because when your batteries stop working, you will still be able to use your Microtac with one of these with a cigarette car adapter thing. Real nifty. This is how it came out the factory. No, I will not sell this because I've only got one or two of these. So please don't ask. And of course, you got the desktop charging cradle. This is an IntelliCharge XT. They did overnight ones as well for the lower end or budget Microtacs. The IntelliCharge XT was the rapid charger, which then later became the the more modern looking thing. I don't have one to hand to show you, but it was a lot shorter and the angle was a little bit steeper. But anyway, standard Microtac a charger, this really. So but anyway, so let's get rid of all this crap off my desk and we'll power this guy on. There goes the box. What you need to remember though is also that the Microtac, I said earlier, the Microtac came in numerous forms. The Microtac 2 anyway, this particular phone. This was available for ETACS. It was also available for NMT. Now if you stumble across one of these for NMT, I would recommend buying it if you're into collecting cell phones. This is an NMT version, this is an ETACS version. You can't really tell them apart. Ignore the fact this one's got Microtac 2 and this one doesn't. The ETACS versions also sometimes say Microtac 2. Now, the difference is the sticker and the model number. The NMT is an F09 TVD, and the UK one is, I think, an SQD, F09 SQD. Yeah, SQDs are real common. TVDs and TVYs are really rare. So I will try and do a video about this at a later stage. I will flip it open just so you can compare the keypad. It might be a little bit of a giveaway, but the NMTs have got different keys down here. This one's in not too great a shape. It's got a little mark on the screen there as well, but it still works, and I will do a video about this one at a later stage. Now, I did say also that the Microtac 2 was available with an LCD display. This is the LCD display. In fact, you might have spotted this phone in my other video a while back last year. This is out of Austria, this particular phone. And I'm not sure what the model of this is, but the sticker's quite different. This is also an SQD, and this was for the Austrian network, which I think was A1 Mobile Nets, which I used when I was out in Austria many years ago. But yeah, this, as you can clearly see, has the dot matrix display, very similar to the Alphas, the Microtac Alphas, or even the Microtac Elites. So I'll do a video about this one and the NMT one at a later stage. So let's fire this guy up. Hopefully I've got a battery with some juice in here. Let's just pinch this one off of this guy and fire this up. So this is single line dot matrix, of course. Back in those days, these didn't have dual line. You didn't get much. This was steady the art back in I think it was 91, 92. These came out. No, I think it was 92, 1992. Yeah, because the Motorola Classics came out in 1990, 91. So I think these were 92, 93. So anyway, so what you got to do to get into the menu is basically just hit the menu key, and you can navigate through general, call. Some of you who've been using Microtacs like the Alpha will probably recognize the menu structure on this. So you got tone, timer, security, services, battery, and general. So and then obviously to select, like any old school Microtac, is M+. So you hit that, you go in, menu 1.1, status, review, theft alarm. Got a whole bunch of stuff here which nobody uses these days. Back in those days, this was obviously state of the art. But nowadays, we take a lot of these functions for granted. Anyway, how do I get out of here? So let's go back to the menu, quickly see if this has more than one ringtone actually. What is that? Call. Let's go into call, see what it does. So call screen, delayed call, what else? Auto answer, nope. Auto hands free, nope. Silent ringer, that's obviously off. So you got a choice of ringer on or off. I don't think you even got a choice of actual ringtones. You could change the actual ringtone on. See, we you know, a lot of people nowadays, oh yeah, I got the latest and greatest ringtone, or everybody remembers that Crazy Frog ringtone that drove everybody up the wall back in the day. These phones didn't have any of that nonsense. You got one ringtone and one ringtone only. What else we got? yeah, I mean, I can remember back in late 90s when I was out in the Middle East. I was out in Jordan and Egypt and Israel, and I was sat in like in Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, and like you heard the same ringtone ringing around you everywhere because everybody had alphas back in those days. Everybody had alphas. A couple of people had elites. And one guy I knew out there even had a digital elite, which is like super rare nowadays. That's the one with the dual line green display. Check out the video about that one. I did a video I think last year about that one. So what else we got in here then? Tone timer. Let's have a look. Maybe we can change the ringtone on this. So tone silent. Let's have a look. Silent keypad. No, we've been through this already actually. We can't change this. Let's go back in the menu then. So general, call, tone, timer. Timer is always a good one. Gives you the age of the handset. Lets you know how many minutes it's been used for. Clear timer, clear reset rather. 1 minute beep. Now for you that don't know what 1 minute beep is, because cell phone using cell phones back in the day was horrendously expensive. These phones had a beep every minute that it would beep at 50 seconds, so you knew you were coming up to a minute. Because obviously it was billed by the minute, and obviously you didn't want to go over that minute, because if you were 1 second over, they'd bill you for a second minute. So even if your phone call lasted one minute and 1 second, you'd get billed for 2 minutes worth of calls. So they had this 1 minute beep introduced in some of these Microtac phones, and just a nifty little feature to show you how long you've been on the phone and how poor you're going to be at the end of the phone call. So anyway, safety timer. What else we got in here? Display, visual timers. That's always a good one. Let's go for that. So incoming, received 3 minutes. Cumulative 4,142. Home 4,141. Not home, so this is roamed for about a minute, by the looks of it. It does look like it's been reset though, because the cumulative is 4142, and oh, you can't go back. Never mind, but you'll get the idea anyway. So incidentally, if you're wondering what that means, it means it's got no service on most of the Motorola's, even some of the early GSM ones like the 5200 or the 7200 or even I think the 7500. If this flashes, it means you can't place a call except an emergency call. If this is solid, that means you're not going to do any calls, emergency or non-emergency. There is no service. It just means if that's flashing, it just means your particular provider hasn't got service, but there is another provider that's covering your area in case you need to make an emergency call. And obviously, if that goes away, then you're in service and you're good to go and placing and receiving calls anyway. So. And that just tells you it's on when you got a couple of volume buttons out here, just to change the these are real sticky actually, just to change the volume of the thing. And I think if you press that, no, not on this phone. On some of the phones, if you press the arrow and then that, it changes the volume of the ringer. Obviously not on the really early ones. So what else can I show you? Memory recall. This will give you the number 0860-823-879. Not sure whose phone number that is, but if it's yours, your phone's now famous on YouTube. That's all I got to say about these. These were state of the art back then. A lot slimmer than the Alphas, of course, or even like the 7200s or even the 5200s were a bit thicker than this. So these are still analog though, so you can't use them. So but you can use the 5200 international 5200. Check out some of the other videos I've got on here about them. I keep getting asked what Microtacs I can use in America. The only Microtacs you can use in America really are the Microtac Select range. This is a Select 6000E. I did a video about this one, Select 2000 and the Select 3000 as well. Those are pretty much the only Motorola Microtacs you can still use to this day, because those are the only phones you can use on GSM 1900. which is the cellular standard used in America. Everywhere else uses GSM 900 and GSM 1800, not 1900. So you're pretty much not spoiled for choice at all. Your choices are one of these, the smaller one of these, or the inferior one of them. I check out the brick phone giveaway. I gave away I think it was a Select 2000, I think, or even, yeah, it was a Select 2000. I gave away one of them brand new boxed. Actually, no, it wasn't brand new, but it was in real good condition new. Those are really the only handsets. Apart from that, obviously, you can go for my StarTAC 7000G or an 8000G if you're lucky to find one and you can afford it. The last one I saw went for ridiculous money. Crazy. You guys are nuts out there. But anyway, that's all I got to say about this particular phone. Give me the thumbs up if you like the phone or the video. Drop me a comment. I got any questions, I'll do my best and try and help. Incidentally, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, someone emailed me about a gray battery like this. I dug it out. I've forgotten who it was. Email me because they wanted one desperately and I don't have your details. So we'll get this shipped out to you for a small fee of some sort. But anyway, that's all I got to say about this particular phone. I will do a video about the NMT version and the Austrian version at a later stage. Thanks for watching and give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button now. Thanks for watching.